I wanted to go to this hearing so bad because I wanted to tell them, can you tell me why I don't have my children with me right now? Can you just, break it down maybe 2-3 sentences? Can you tell me why I don't have my children right now? And they could say, well, we had a court proceeding and we found the child independent and you weren't cooperating with social services, so, we had to do what we did. We had to take them into protective custody. I said, no. Honestly, the reason why I don't have my children standing next to me right now is because you got a gun pointed at my head. If you didn't have a gun pointed at my head, I'd go get my kids. I'd tell you a bunch of crackers and a bunch of crackpots, and I'd be walking home with my kids. But the only thing that's keeping me from walking home with my kids right now is you got 10,000 guns pointed at my head. That's why my children aren't standing next to me right now, because you women are incredibly violent, and you believe all your solutions and all your answers come at the end of a gun. If there should be any gun control in this country, it should be the government shouldn't be able to point guns at the people. That's where the gun control should lie, because the people are terrified of the government pointing guns at them. And heaven forbid the people turn the guns on the government. Oh, no, heavens to Betsy's, we can't have that fucking happen. But no, it's okay for you guys to point 10,000 guns at me. I haven't done anything wrong. The kids haven't done anything wrong. Frank hasn't done anything wrong. But let's point guns at you guys. Let's drag my children off at the end of a gun. So when you came to my house, what do you have, 10 deputies come to my house, drag my children off at gunpoint? That's what I wanted to tell these lovely ladies of social services. I said, do you understand why democracy sucks? Because the mob rules. Because the mob thinks they can carry guns and pointed at the minority of people that they believe they got control over. So I would have loved to just say that to those lovely ladies. Oh, it's so special that you guys all sit together in little committees and little chat groups, and you guys all vote on what to take away from man today. Oh, let's take away from this man this today. Oh, let's vote on taking this away from him. Oh, it's good. My mom says almost every time they have any kind of hearing, the word child support always pops up. I said, oh, man, I'd love to be there for them mentioning the word child support. Because I said I'd just ask them one simple question. Whose child are we talking about? Whose child does that belong to that we're talking about? Well, that child belongs to you. Oh, good. Let me show you the legal definition of the word property. That which belongs to one. There you go. Did you just say they belong to me? Yeah. The legal definition of the word property is that which belongs to one. So you're just coming after me, one, right? Yeah. You want child support from me, right? Because you say they belong to me, correct? Yeah. Well, then that must be my property, according to the legal dictionaries. Wouldn't I be correct in my assumption that they are mine because they belong to me? And then wouldn't that, under the legal definition of property, that which belongs to one, wouldn't that make sense? You only pay for somebody else's kids that don't belong to me, do you? Well, no. You want me to only pay for that which belongs to me, right? Yeah. Okay. Then technically that's the word property. But instead of saying that which belongs to one, I just use the word property. Because that's the legal definition of property, that which belongs to one. And I actually showed my mom's lawyer today the legal definition of property. He's like, I'll be damned. Yeah, that's what it means. Huh. He says, yeah, but they just don't like people using that word. I said, I don't give a fuck about their feelings. I don't give a shit if they don't like the connotation of that word, what thoughts it pops up in their mind. They couldn't care less that they're feeble-minded like this. I said law, good law, is black and white. There's no gray. There's no synonyms. It means one thing, specifically one thing. If you want to think it means slavery, honestly, that's not within the definition of the word property. That doesn't exist. You don't see the word slavery in the legal definition of property. So if you want to spin it any way you want, spin it any way you want. Guess what? The third or the fifth plank of the Communist Manifesto, the elimination of property from man, that all property is to reside with the state. Yeah, makes them feel comfortable when they say, well, that's government property. Oh, really? That's government property. How do you propose that's government property? Well, right there, see the sign says, no trespassing government property. Oh, really? And who do you think the government serves? Serves the public. Okay, so that's public land, correct? Yeah, it's public land. Okay, well, if that's public land, do you understand where the public land theory and belief came from? Well, no. Well, there's about 10 rich families in Europe about 1,000 years ago that controlled 100% of the land. The peasants and the poor people were in the millions. These rich families were 100. The poor people finally get fed up and said, you know what, we don't want to live like thieves and serfs and turds anymore. You know what? We want to have our own damn land. So they started a revolt. So what did these little principalities, what did they decide to do? They set up common grounds. So the people had the common grounds, which still exist in England. You still find common land, common grounds. But at one time, these common grounds are where people used to plant trees, grow tomatoes, grow their own wheat. The princes and the kings and the lords and would set a little bit of the land aside to appease the people, appease the peons, give them maybe 100 acres and say, there you folks go. Produce your own crops, sell them, and be a little capitalist, make a little money on the side, but don't think for a minute that you're going to leave my fucking control. Don't think for a second that you're not going to still plant 1 million fucking acres of my shit. But go ahead, you can have your own little common ground. Your little peasants can have your little 100 acres over there and make jolly with yourselves. But don't think for a second that you're not going to take care of my fields first. Those are the common grounds. So those are public lands. So that's why these Bundys, if they only had half a fucking brain, they would explain the concept of the common ground and the public lands. That it's for the access for the public to use, for us to cultivate trees, chop down the timber, run cattle across. That's right. But we're to replant those trees for the next group, the next set of generation to come. They were supposed to replant the trees, maintain the forest, maintain the common grounds, and leave it for the next generation the way they found it, if not better. The Bundys didn't understand the simple, basic concept of history of where the public lands came from, so they looked like idiots when they came on TV. Oh, that's the public lands, and the government's taking over all the land out here, and they're making them all public lands. Good. Lovely. So you're trying to tell me they're taking it away from Monsanto and all these private corporations? Yes. Good. Well, they're also taking it away from us. Good. Then we're all sharing the land. It's public land. Tell them that you wish to access the land and cultivate it. Not only do I know that that's true, because the Bundys did that at the beginning. They went to the United States Department of Interior, whatever it was they went to, and they said, we'd like to use these public lands to graze our cattle. And the government said, fine, not a problem. Just pay us $1 an acre a year. How many acres would you like? We'd like to run them over that 1,000 acres. Fine. Give us $1,000 a year, and you're more than glad to use the public lands. That way we'll maintain, after your cattle maybe destroy the land, burning the land, they overuse the land, we'll come back and we'll manage the land. But give us $1 an acre. And they said, okay, fine. So the first couple of years they paid the United States government, because I read the lawsuit, I read the complaint that the government filed against these people. So instead of just coming up with some ridiculous how to help these people, because I'm coming in at the end of the story, I read the whole damn story. Figured out why they were having a problem. Because, yes, if you want to use the public lands, that's fine. Go cultivate all those trees. Go get 10,000 acres of trees down. I don't care. Why? Because you're going to have a forest fire and 10,000 acres are going to burn anyway next year. So go ahead. Cultivate those 10,000 acres, but put it back the way you found it. That's fine. And if you don't do it, well, give us a bond or give us a certain amount of a portion of what you're pulling out of the ground, and we'll replant for you. Oh, okay, that's fine. The Department of Land Management, okay, that's fine. So I understood what was going on. And all the Bundys had to do was say, you know what? Why don't we just live up to our original terms and agreement of how we're going to use the public lands, instead of acting like assholes and thinking like, well, you know what? We're going to get something for nothing. You know why? Because nobody else is out here anyway. We're the only ones using these common grounds. Why should we pay for anything? Why should we give people in Arkansas, a penny, when they're not here using it anyway? Dude, no, that's a reasonable price of what they were asking you to do to, run your cattle on. Just pay it and stop being an asshole. If you could do it cheaper through the private sector, then go buy your own damn land and cultivate it and, manage it on your own time. Stop asking for the United States people, the United States citizenry to take care of your damn cattle. So, but that's the concept of public lands, and I tell people that all the time. I said, go find some public lands. I said, there's all kinds of homesteading acts that still are in existence. And I know there's plenty of places where it says, the government says that if you work the land for 7 years, and you could stay, and you could, with however many acres that you worked, and you say you found a silver mine, or you found a tin, or you found copper, or whatever, zinc, whatever you found, and you mined it. It's like if you stay there for 7 years, that they'll give you whatever, 10 acres or 100 acres, and then they'll, deed the land over to you. and then it's no longer public land, then it's yours. But you actually earned it. You deserved it. You know, you made something out of nothing. That's the common grounds in the public lands. I don't know how the hell I got onto that. That's pretty, I don't know.
I was going to ask you to talk about that right before you got into it, because I remember that guy up in Canada who got zip-tied and put to the floor growing pot, and you had talked to me about that before, about how to make a claim for land, and I thought, what a great subject, and it would have fit right in, and then you started talking about it.
Yeah, well, that's good. Because, like I said, I just thought that, I don't know why, I don't know, like I said, man, why my mind just wandered like that into that Bundy's and public land. I don't know. I don't know. That's a good question. But like I said, I wanted to say that on one show one day, and I said, you know what? I guess that's why I just put it on now. Because, like I said, I think it's important for people to understand, the hierarchy of, the public servant and the public, and why we have public grounds and why we have public servants. And, why we're supposed to work with the public servants. If we don't manage it properly, they're going to come in and manage it for us, which is fine. That's what it was, them pointing guns at us. That's it. And taking things from us. That's ridiculous. They're supposed to be working for us, not, pointing guns and taking things from us. That's when it's crossing the line. That's right. That's how I got on this topic. Is how did these lovely ladies think, well, the reason why we have your kids is because we had this quasi-court, and it was like a kangaroo court. No, there's no exhibits, no testimony, no evidence. You can't cross-examine anybody. No, you're not allowed to know who made the complaint. No, you can't. Well, what? I mean, this Mickey Mouse clause? No. Honestly, the reason why, ladies, you got my kids is because you got 10,000 guns pointed at my head. That's why you got my kids. Be honest. Because if you didn't have guns, what do you think I'd be doing right now? You think I'd be talking to you lovely ladies? Of course not. I'd be home, taking care of whatever I got to take care of on the farm, and the kids would be at school having a damn good time. That's what would be going on right now. So the only reason that I would have loved to say that and say, what do you got to say to that? Ladies, gentle, kind, progressive, we hate guns and there better be gun control ladies. Yeah, gun control for a man, but not gun control for government, right? No, you want to still be able to point guns at a man, right? And have your little wishes and your little dreams and, your little megalomaniac fucking powered fucking dreams come true. That you're going to control man and mankind now because you're a little 95-pound lady and your purse matches your pocketbook. So now you're going to fucking tell a man what to do. You're going to use another man to point a gun at another man to carry out your wishes. Really. Until the day like they did in the Soviet Union, when the government told tell another man to point a gun at another man, and the man who was holding the gun actually turned around and pointed it at the government. And the government said, okay, I guess you guys have had enough. Yeah, we've had enough. Okay, well, I guess we'll be out of here. Yeah, I guess that'd probably be the best thing to do. Just leave. I said, the people, like these government people all the time, how long do you think it's going to be before the people who are pointing guns at their fellow man turn them around and point them at you and say that, you know what, this is getting ridiculous. There's no reason why you're doing what you're doing. Now you're just doing it because you're megalomaniacs. You're just getting ridiculous like the Soviet, political, establishment was getting. You guys are just getting ridiculous now. You guys are just getting, mad with lust for power. Now you guys are just getting ridiculous. I have so many people calling me up saying that they got, $6,000 worth of tolls, fines for going through Dallas, and a lot of the roads down there are turning into toll roads. And this one kid called me up, and he said, before I know it, man, I owe over $6,000 worth of court costs, fines, administrative fees. He said, there's no way in the world I could pay that $6,000. I said, sure it is. I said, just toss them what you can and tell them, as soon as I win the lottery, I'll pay the rest. And he did that, and he said it worked out great. And he said because some company who actually runs the toll roads down there has an agreement with motor vehicles to suspend his license. So he wrote to them. I think the kid's name is Jeremy. I think it's the kid's name is Jeremy. I don't remember. Yeah, it's Jeremy. I got to get him on a call. And he said how he wrote to the toll. This is what what's his name? Bonacci, the guy in Australia. He's got all these toll problems, and he did it his crazy way, and at least Jeremy did it my way. And they lifted the restriction from his getting his license reinstated. He basically said to corporation, a toll corporation, do you understand that what you're doing is causing harm to your fellow man? You know, I need this license. I have to have this license so I can go to work. And do you understand by your policies, it's causing me great harm? And it's like, I know you don't want to do anything that causes harm to your fellow man. And then he said, he says it was lifted, that he was able to get his license reinstated.